Have you ever, maybe you're here right now, have you ever had circumstances so pressing in on you that you don't know what to do? Okay, you're confused, you're perplexed, you're groping for the next steps and the right steps, and you're trying to solve problems and fix things, and and these things can weigh on us with great heavy discouragement and perplexity, confusion, even despair. Okay, so maybe this is where this is finding you today. And clearly in Psalms 9 and 10, David has an enemy problem. He's got enemies around him. He's got issues, problems he can't resolve and solve. We don't know what part of his life, but these are enemy issues, okay? And he sees himself as a part of a cosmic war. He doesn't just see this as a temporal thing. He sees this as a spiritual battle of Satan and God's enemies against God. And David, kind of a child, a follower of God, kind of in the battle, but unable to bring the battle to a conclusion in his own strength or his own way. Okay, so he feels not entirely powerless, but perhaps insufficient and not powerful enough, because clearly he hasn't been able to resolve the enemy problem, the enemy issue, even with all of his own abilities and powers that he did have at this stage or wherever he is in his life. All the resources at his disposal have apparently been exhausted and depleted, and he's still got an enemy problem. He's still kind of in the throes of this thing. Is it going to eat him up? Is it going to destroy him? Will it cause him to despair, give up, take his own life? Will it cause him to do something dramatic and disruptive? Or is there a greater divine intervention at play? Can he cast himself? Can he wait on God? Is there a better course of action when you don't know what to do, or when the things you see that you can do seem to be insufficient? When you don't seem to have the authority or the power or the ability to make a dramatic difference or to bring resolution to the problems that you see around you, what do? Well, this is how David starts these two Psalms, with this link of chains of I wills, I wills, I wills. And we've done the I wills before. You know how much I love them. I want you to grasp this for a minute, that David is pre-deciding. He is preemptive in his decision making, and he's exerting his will in light of the counsel and the truth of God. He is exerting his will over his soul or over his heart. He is engaging his being in actions that are spiritual and that are the right way to fight in a world where the physical circumstances are really the product, or the political or geopolitical or economic circumstances are a product of a cosmic spiritual war. This is where we live, okay? We are followers of God in the middle of God's creation, fallen, with a cosmic war unfolding around us that we get to see bits and pieces of in the forms of overt wickedness, in the forms of corrupt political systems and corrupt financial systems and corrupt justice systems. We get to see the corruption, and it's just like fragments of wickedness that show us there's a much bigger cosmic warfare. What do? And if you're like me, I look at this and I'm going, okay, I don't have the calling into government. I don't have a position of prominence and influence and power. I can't, force the right outcomes in all these things. And I've been given my domain, my place of calling and giftedness and ability, and where God's placed me. What can I do? And this is kind of what David is deciding. Look at what he says, verses 1 and 2 of Psalm 9. I will praise thee, O Lord. Now remember, he's going to make manifest to us that he's got lots of problems and that he feels that God is distant. That's the first verse of verse 10. He feels that God is strayed away, okay? But look at how he starts dealing with, coping with, navigating through that reality. I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart. He's exerting his will over his emotions. Heart, get up, get to attention, get in order, pour out your emotion to God in praise. Praise is celebration of God. The root word is a Latin word that denotes value, and it is extolling God for his value. It is the celebration and the adoration of God, but is the engagement of the mind, will, and emotions. And that's what David says when he says, with my whole heart. No platitudes, no religiosity. This is not just me going through motions, but my heart is not in it. No, David says, when my heart is coming apart, I'm going to engage my whole heart fully in the praise of my God. So God, I will praise you with my whole heart. I want you to see the second I will. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. Whatever breath, whatever presence, whatever influence, whatever platform you give me, I'm not going to use that platform to disseminate false information. I'm not going to use that platform to gossip or gripe or murmur or begrudge. I'm not going to use that platform to just be a grumbling follower of God. No, I will be a shower forth. I will be a declarer. I will magnify. I will publish all of your amazing, marvelous, majestic works, the works of your hand. Now, I got to stop. I'm running out of time. We'll pause here because there's two more I wills in verse 2. But when you look at a world that's falling apart and you know there's a God who is the true, righteous, reigning judge, and you feel lost and you don't know where you're going and where it's all coming at you, and you don't know how to get through it, and you don't know what to do, here's your first two I wills. I will praise with my whole heart. You put a leash on your heart and you get it aligned in praise to God fully, entirely. You engage in worship with your God. It's one reason why our assembling together is so important. It's another reason why your personal, private exercise of praise and worship in your own devotional life is so significant. It's another reason why you can put on the earbuds and pull up Shane and Shane or Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, and suddenly your problems are dramatically downsized because you are celebrating your God. It's a powerful practice. And I will show forth thy marvelous works. Who can you tell about God today? Who can you share, with whom can you share the good stories of God's good news in your life? It reminds me of the song, all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. All my, with every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Look it up, the goodness of God. It's one of my favorite songs, and it will cheer you up, but it will engage you. Tell somebody about the goodness of God in your life. David begins a long 2 Psalms of wrestling through the nuances of faith in an enemy-ridden life. And the first place he goes is, I'm going to praise and I'm going to show forth God's praise. So friend, these are framing, contextualizing practices. They're powerful practices. They're practices that give you a right perspective, and others as well. Somebody near you is in dire need of you telling them today about the goodness of God. Have a great Friday. See you Sunday or next Monday.